optimism and hope for the common denominator of over 80 ethnicity, a country with 3,000 years of glorious history and culture. Ethiopia.
The former U.S. President Donald Trump warns that the crisis could lead to world war. Trump said he was concerned that Putin would find a way around any sanctions. On the other hand, Belarus is preparing to join Russian forces and reported that it will host Moscow's nuclear weapons. President Putin's ally Belarus's Lukashenko warns that sanctions are pushing the world towards World War III. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian president's office said that its delegation will meet with its Russian counterpart without preconditions near the Pripyat River in Belarus. Volodymyr Zelensky admitted he wasn't confident of a positive outcome, but said he owed it to people. As feared, the first round of meetings between the delegations of the two countries have ended without resolution. But it is planned that the second round of the peace talks will take place in the coming days. Putin orders special regime of duty to troops operating nuclear deterrent amid aggressive NATO comments. As packages of the West sanction on Vladimir Putin's government, EU closes off airspace to all Russian planes and bans Kremlin news agents. A U.S. official claimed that Belarus is planning to join in on Russia's invasion of Ukraine as soon as Monday, just after a referendum in Belarus on Sunday approved a new constitution ditching the country's non-nuclear status, meaning it could potentially host Russian weapons. The American official, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to the Washington Post, said that it's very clear Belarus capital Minsk is now an extension of the Kremlin. No indication on how many troops nor where they would be deployed was given by the official. The new constitution could see nuclear weapons on Belarusian soil for the first time since the country gave them up after the fall of the Soviet Union. On Sunday, speaking at a polling station, Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko said he could ask Russia to return nuclear weapons to Belarus. Belarus has been providing support for Russia's war effort, but so far has not taken a direct part in the conflict. This revelation came hours after the Ukrainian State Security Service officially reported that a rocket attack on Zhytomyr Airport, located some 93 miles west of Kiev, was launched from the territory of Belarus. Belarusian special forces were seen loading onto airplanes in preparation for an air assault on Kiev in what could be a widening of the war, military sources stated according to the Daily Mail. Belarus, which borders both Russia and Ukraine, is run by Lukashenko, who is a close ally of President Putin. Prior to this potential deployment, Lukashenko has allowed Russia's troops to gather in Belarus and even conduct large-scale military drills in the nation. The American official has direct knowledge of current U.S. intelligence assessments and says the decision by Belarus leader on whether to bring Belarus further into the war depends on talks between Russia and Ukraine happening on Monday. Lukashenko Sunday night issued a chilling threat that the West's sanctions on Russia are pushing the Kremlin into a third world war, after Vladimir Putin put his nuclear deterrent forces on alert. The deployment could significantly affect those peace talks. Now there is a lot of talk against the banking sector, gas, oil, SWIFT, Lukashenko said. It's worse than war. This is pushing Russia into a third world war. We need to be restrained here so as not to get into trouble, because nuclear war is the end of everything. Ukraine's health ministry said on Sunday that 352 civilians, including 14 children, had been killed since the beginning of the conflict. It also said that 1,684 people, including 116 children, had been wounded, Daily Mail reports. Zelensky described his discussion with Lukashenko as very substantive, adding that he had made it clear he did not want troops to move from Belarus to Ukraine, and Lukashenko assured him of this. He added, "I do not really believe in the outcome of this meeting, but let them try, so that later not a single citizen of Ukraine has any doubt that I, as president, tried to stop the war." It came as Putin declared, in his own televised address, that he had ordered troops operating the nuclear deterrent onto a special regime of duty in light of aggressive statements from NATO leaders and unfriendly economic actions. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg responded, "This is dangerous rhetoric." On the other side, Ukraine reported to have filed a lawsuit against Russia at The Hague, with Mr. Zelensky requesting that the UN International Court of Justice orders Russia to stop its attack against Ukraine and starts trials soon. The United States condemned Putin's order to put his nuclear forces on high alert as dangerous and unacceptable. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, also said nothing was off the table when asked about the possibility of Putin being tried in international court as a war criminal. Boris Johnson, meanwhile, dismissed Putin's announcement as a distraction from the struggle his troops are facing in Ukraine. He also cast doubt on possible negotiations between Russian and Ukrainian delegations to try to resolve the crisis. There's nothing I've seen so far in his behavior that leads me to think that he could possibly be sincere, Boris said. Earlier Russian television footage showed Mr. Putin meeting with his defense minister and the chief of the general staff and instructing them to put the nuclear deterrent on a special regime of combat duty. Western countries aren't only taking unfriendly actions against our country in the economic sphere, but top officials from leading NATO members made aggressive statements regarding our country, Putin said. But on a day when the expected assault on Kyiv again failed to materialize, and the Ukrainians claimed to have driven Russian forces out of the country's second city, Kharkiv, Mr. Johnson said his words were a distraction from the reality of what's going on. This is an innocent people who are facing a totally unprovoked act of aggression against them. And what's actually happening is that they are fighting back, perhaps with more effect, with more resistance than the Kremlin had bargained for, he said. You can see some of the logistical difficulties that the Russian forces are experiencing. The Russian Defense Ministry have themselves conceded that they're having casualties. This is a disastrous, misbegotten venture by President Putin. Elsewhere, oil giant BP announced on Sunday it is ditching its controversial 20% stake in the Russian energy group Rosneft with immediate effect. Chief Executive Bernard Looney revealed the move, saying he was saddened and shocked by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It comes after he was summoned to a meeting with Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng on Friday amid growing unease about the BP's Russian dealings. On another news, the cyber war is also mounting in parallel. Anonymous Collective reported to have taken down 3 Russian news agency websites amid cyber war against Putin. An international hacking organization has launched an all-out cyber war on Vladimir Putin's media, social media sites, and Kremlin-backed broadcaster. Anonymous have apparently targeted 3 Russian state news agencies and urged Russia to stop this madness after attacking Kremlin-backed channel RT and the Kremlin website. When trying to access TASS, Fontanka, and Kommersant's websites on Monday morning, error messages appeared and the websites were unable to load. The latest move comes after the elusive computer hackers declared a cyber war against Vladimir Putin's government on Thursday after he ordered special military operation. And on Saturday, Ukrainian Vice Prime Minister Mikhailo Fedorov said the country was creating an army to fight on the cyber front amid a string of tit-for-tat cyber attacks. Chelsea Football Club owner Roman Abramovich said to have been trying to broker peace deal in Ukraine. He flown to Belarus to assist in talks after request from Kyiv amid calls for him to face sanctions. Russian-Israeli billionaire has come under pressure to speak out about Ukraine. He had been contacted by Ukrainian officials, according to his spokesman. This comes after Abramovich announced on Saturday that he was handing over stewardship of club. This brings to the end of our presentation.
Are you looking to earn working remotely from anywhere with maximum flexibility and convenient? Do you have a talent or services to offer to your clients? You have great chance of working on several jobs or projects for multiple clients at one time. Or are you a business owner or employer who are looking for hiring freelancer to work on your project? Well, if that's yes, please click the link below to learn more about and get started.
Thanks for staying with us. We encourage you to post your views in this matter. Please also help the channel by liking, sharing, and also subscribing if this is your first time. Don't forget to check our collection of favorites below on description section. Great content and presentation requires time and money. So when you purchase items recommended by us, you are playing your part so that Ethiopia today achieves its goal of producing reliable and timely information that matters us all. Thanks again. May God bless Ethiopia and its people.